Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of 3 Point Landing, your favorite podcast in which we talk about movies, comics, and video games, and sometimes TV as well. As always, with me today is my co-host, Misha.
Heyo! Well,
and
don't let that become my catchphrase.
And today we're going to talk about a very, very, very important topic. Now, as you all know, we are under the effects of quarantine, COVID-19, the new normal, the trying times, all of that combined. And of course, we turn to many things to ease our pain from quarantine, the soothing balm that relieves our struggles. And that soothing balm that we're going to talk about is online gaming. To talk about it with us is a very special guest. Tonight, we're having someone who started out in geek media as the creator and author of the blog Geek and Gladiators. Additionally, he started a podcast In the Car After with his then fiancée, now wife Denise, where they talked about movies, wrestling, and video games. Now, it's been years since the last episode of In the Car After and a post on the blog Geek and Gladiators, but that's because these days he's been hosting the podcast Good Trades Brigade with his pals Miguel, Emil, and Miguel. He's a contributing writer for GG Network and a freelance artist going by the nom de art, yes, I invented that word, Raffy Graffiti. He also streams video games on his Twitch channel under the same name. Everyone, welcome my friend and yours, Raffy Leynes.
Wow, hey, what's up, everybody? That was a hell of an introduction. I didn't even know I did all those things. Yeah. I didn't even know that half of those things were stuff that I did. Oh my God. But yeah, thanks for having me on the show, guys.
Now you know.
Now you know.
So let's start tonight by talking about what we've all been playing. Well, actually, I'd like to know more about what you've been playing lately, Raffy.
Oh man, okay. So for the most part, a lot of what I've been playing in the recent months, like half a year now, is a bunch of online games, like stuff that you can play with your friends online, because that's the only way you play with your friends now. As we all know,
yeah, it's kind of sad.
Yeah, it's basically Ready Player One out here right now. Outside bad. Now we escape into the world of the virtual.
I remember, a time when we could actually go outside and breathe the air and be among people. Has it been so long?
Oh, it has. It's so sad.
Dude, it feels longer.
All I want to do is play rock, paper, scissors with my dear friends.
you have to come over and play some tabletop role-playing games with us again.
Yeah, there it is. That's an actual thing that we played physically, tabletop games.
Okay.
But yeah, so a bunch of online games. There's just a lot to pick from right now because this is, like what I've said, this is the world right now. So we've been playing some Fall Guys on the side, like when it came out, which is dynamite to play with the group. Among Us is also a thing. Like these are the types of games now. Like since everyone has Discord, you're like, okay, what are we doing this weekend?
Okay, I'm going to get my geek card revoked, but somebody has to explain Among Us to me. I'm sorry.
Please explain it.
I've seen the posts, but I have not yet, dipped my toes into this thing. So what is it? It looks interesting, whatever it is.
I only know the memes, guys.
Well, Among Us is kind of like, how do you explain this? It's what you get when you fuse werewolf and space team. Space team.
So you're all screaming at each other, and one of you is a bad guy.
Pretty much. Sometimes there are two of you.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So
I would play the shit out of that.
Yeah, you're all crewmates on a spaceship or a space station, and there's like 10 of you, and like maybe 2 of you are imposters. So the crewmates go about like doing their tasks. They have a set of goals that they achieve in one session, and they go do that. And once they finish all of that, they win the game. But of course, the imposters won't let them do that because the imposter's goal is to kill as many crewmates as they can. So they don't have tasks. All they do is like they look like the crewmates themselves, and they just kill them, isolate them whenever possible. And it devolves to shouting real quick if you're on Discord with friends.
I can imagine. I absolutely can imagine. If you had me at Space Team.
Yeah. It's Space Team because like everyone has the different tasks and it's very like involved as well, just like Space Team. Like it's not just press E and task happen. No, there are a bunch of mini games that you do on your own when you're accomplishing these tasks. And you also got to watch out for when the imposter's right behind you. You never know. Like, is that guy sus? Is he moving about real weird? What tasks has he done? What tasks has he done really? And then it's a whole meta game of like, is he lying? Is he not? And then it also becomes like if you're playing with friends, you eventually just play your friends and not Among Us. You're like, no, I know this motherfucker is lying because his pitch goes way up when he's the imposter.
But then sometimes
what's fun? Like the more innocent I am, the more suspicious I act.
Okay.
Noted. Very strongly.
Matthew, it's not me. It's not.
No, but sometimes that's. I love a game with a good imposter, traitor, Cylon mechanic. All that stuff because it's a great way to mechanize betrayal without having to actually deal with like real betrayal in a sense, like because there's some people who cheat at cards, who cheat at poker and all that stuff, but when a game actively includes betrayal in it, it allows you to enter into a social contract saying we all agree together that we're going to be dramatic, we're all going to be like suspicious. And also when you talked about like playing others, I always find that very funny when you play games like that, because first you go, oh right, Raffy's tell is this, but after a while Raffy will cotton on to it and he'll be like, all right, I know what my tell is, so I'll play up my tell every time I'm innocent just to throw them off. And it just becomes like layers and layers of gaming each other.
Yeah. It's a great bonding experience with friends. You can tell how they're lying so they can't betray you in real life. So
yeah,
that's always good.
And the best thing is during these in this quarantine state, it makes you remember which friends you miss and which friends you don't miss.
Oh damn. Straight under the bus.
But it's funny that you mention it because I think I have not played this many online games in ever, honestly.
Yeah.
The past few weeks, I've been playing Call of Duty on mobile with our engineer PV over there, and
sick.
I don't know, it's just our way of staying sane in these ridiculous times by shooting people in the face. It's an incredible way of relieving stress after a long day. I mean, basically, I'm just doing what I was doing in Counter-Strike 20 years ago, but now it's on my phone.
That's just also mind-blowing to me, right? Like, this is a time where COD can be played on mobile. And like anyone who has a phone can play it with you. And like the shooting is not bad. It actually feels pretty awesome for a mobile game, right?
Yeah, I remember the first time I brought it up in the studio. And then PB's like, what? On mobile? And then I showed it to him. He's like, hey, it's not bad. And then son of a bitch didn't tell me until like 6 months later that he'd been playing the whole time after that day. So I'm like, why didn't you say anything? Jackass.
Gotta get the upper hand, man.
I was like, when did you start playing? He's like, after you showed it to me. I'm like, I hate you so much.
I've played every single day. And I've prestiged like 5 times.
I'm like, oh my God. Okay. But it's funny because, like, I've got another podcast, Subway Tours, where we talk about movies and stuff. And my co-host, it's his wife, because we can hear her in the background when we're recording the podcast, right? And she's always like, are you guys done yet? Can we play already? She's really addicted to this game and she joins our sessions. In fact, she leads our sessions. She's like the scariest one in the group.
Does she do the call outs? Does she do the really...
Oh my God, she cackles when she's so bloodthirsty. It's incredible, really. But it's this whole being confined, being forced to stay indoors, just making people pick up games or consoles or online games that otherwise they might not have. Where there's a Switch shortage now.
Oh, what? Really?
Like Nintendo had to specifically go out of their way to mention in a recent press release that they would be putting Switches back into production. They'd be ramping it up again to address the worldwide demand. Like I tried to get one for my friend's kid 2 weeks ago, and I'm not kidding. Every single store I asked would only sell it to me as part of a crappy bundle. Because, they refused to just sell the unit because there are just so few going around right now. Because everybody snapped them up. They got their Animal Crossings, they got their Final Fantasy VII remakes, for PS4.
For PS4.
But, everybody's stocking up on games. That's all I'm saying. That's what I mean.
Yeah. And it's so easy to access too. Like even if you don't have a console, like what we've mentioned, it's just on your phone, man. You need a fucking MOBA. Get in there. You can choose from everything. Yeah.
Yeah, and not to mention like with the next generation coming up, which we may or may not talk about in a future episode. Like cloud gaming is becoming a big deal right now, right? And Game Pass and all that stuff. So that means is that there are more ways to access games and, more ways to play them, regardless of what hardware you have. And, I think it's almost like the coming generation of video games has accidentally prepared for this pandemic.
Yeah. In some ways, we're the most equipped industry, like that hasn't really changed. Like it's still super rock solid.
Unexpectedly so. But this is something that nobody could have foreseen. Like I'm pretty sure the makers of Zoom did not see their stocks going through the roof, last year at this time last year. And so that's really, really something.
So I want to talk about this other game that you're playing, which is like a really big sensation right now. Wow, look at me. I sound like a fucking old man now being like, hey, let's talk about the big sensation. But no, let's talk about Fall Guys. I saw that you were playing that game as well with Charles and the rest of the gang or something.
Right.
So tell me about Fall Guys.
I've been seeing that too. That's the one that's based on Takeshi's Castle.
Yep. It's just basically Takeshi's Castle.
Do they actually say that? I know
they said it. They said it.
Oh, they said
it. The developer said that's what they were inspired by.
It's a game show. Yeah. It's the Battle Royale game show. The skill ceiling is very low, which makes it very attractive to everyone. It's just a good old time with Fall Guys. Like it's a very simple concept. Be the first or like be one of the first 30, 15 to qualify and make it to the end of the line. I think that's where Fall Guys succeeds. Like it's very simple. Like the concept is simple. The controls are simple. All you do is jump. All you do is move forward, left, right, back. Like there's no like input ceiling to like understand. Like there's no difficulty with the control basically. So that's what's so fun about Fall Guys. It's just like the thing though is I don't know if you've been keeping up, but the main reason why we kind of switched off of Fall Guys in the recent weeks is that the cheaters, man.
What cheaters? Wait, what are you talking about? Explain.
Just lousy with cheaters now. They're like, okay, so the game is get to the finish line before everyone else, like, and traverse the obstacle course, right? And so you do that, you load up to the game, and then there's just a guy just flying. Wait, you can't do that? No, you can't do that. And just people just fly from the starting line to the finish line like real easy. And like, why would you cheat in this game? What does it bring you?
What kind of First of all, no gratification because the game's
kind of a sad childhood did you have?
The game's inputs are so simple, so you're not exactly achieving dominance over something that people have had to work hard at being masterful at.
Exactly.
And second of all, this is a game that has no, like, if I recall correctly, there's no loot progression, there's no XP progression, right?
There is a little bit in cosmetics.
Yeah,
you
cosmetics.
can purchase. Yeah,
but you're not unlocking skill trees or anything like that.
No.
Yeah, so what happens is like, so you have achieved all of this to gain nothing, not even in digital tchotchkes.
Not even. All he does is get the crown and then he can buy like an alligator suit or whatever. Okay.
I'm sorry.
That is the definition. That is the definition of an ikaw na moment.
I don't know, man. Like that's the big thing about Fall Guys. Like it's so disappointing that whenever you see a cheater, okay, that motherfucker's gonna win, because there's no way. Like everything in the game is based around the physics. And if you're flying up in the air, like you're basically a god.
Right.
But then the developers actually have put in like team games in the game where it's not just you racing to be the first, it's you part of a team. Like you get grouped into yellow, blue, and red teams, and you can win. So the second we find out, like the culture has become, in the second that you find out that someone's cheating and they're on your team, you just tank it. You just tank the game so the guy loses. It's a completely unselfish play that like...
It's like just... save yourself the stress.
Yeah. And you're doing good for the whole community by losing. And it's so good. I think that's the bright side of finding cheaters. Like finding that, okay, most of the world is cool. It's just this one guy that wants to like be an asshole. Most of the world is cool. They see a fucking cheater in the soccer game. They put own goals. They help the other team make own goals on their own.
Right.
Some men want to watch the world burn, and some worlds will just burn them back.
That's a great way to put that. Yeah.
Now I got two questions for you, Raffy. One is like, you got to explain to me what this whole meme is about the yellow team. I think I heard about this, about how...
What is that? What is that? I'm not cool enough to know this.
Okay, you got to explain to me like what the joke is about yellow team. Why is it yellow team is...
Okay, so...
Because they promised to delete yellow team or something.
Yeah, I don't know how it started. It just started that in the international servers, if you're on yellow team, like everyone just beats your butt. Like they just red and blue just collude to defeat yellow all the time, every time. Is
this a metaphor? Is this a or something?
Maybe, I am not sure. But to be completely fair, in Asian Fall Guys, or at least in the servers we play at, it's not the yellow team who are the losers. It's the bluesers who are the losers.
The bluesers. Oh yeah.
Yeah. In Asia servers, if you're in blue, just pack it up, bud. Like I've seen multiple people like spawn as a blue player, and I'd see them just give up. They just stand in the middle of the field, and they're like, yeah, dealt us a bad card on this one.
Does their Fall Guys avatar just like flop to the side and then assume the fetal position?
It's kind of worse because it just stands there while all this chaos is happening. Like around them, everything is like burning and balls are being thrown everywhere and people are grabbing people, and they're just in the middle of the field, just standing there lifeless.
And my second question for you...
sounds so incredibly sad.
And my second question for you is that now what I understand is that Fall Guys is categorized as a battle royale, one of the many games that have like really come in vogue as of late, like Fortnite Battle Royale, PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, and Apex Legends. These are all games that are called battle royales, and like a lot of companies try to replicate the success of those games, and to no avail. But somehow Fall Guys is categorized as that and has succeeded at that. What are your opinions, or like what are your ideas, your thoughts behind that?
I think I touched on it earlier, but it's really the ease of access and the very simple concept. Like the PUBGs and the Fortnites are all like different variations of a very kind of unforgiving system, right? Because like you have to get loot. You got to get loot, organize your inventory for like 30 minutes, and then the last 5 minutes is just you die. And that's what happens. Like it's a very unforgiving system. It doesn't hold your hand as you fall to the ground, lifeless. And it just punishes you by like just instant death. You encounter the guy that had the drop on you, and you lose all that 30 minutes of prep, right? In Fall Guys, it's very simple. Like you get in, if you lose the very simple minigame with the very simple controls, you can just get back out. Just get back out there, bud. There's no need to figure out where to drop next, or like how to grab like a weapon or something, or you need armor or stuff like that. No, it's just a very simple distillation of what a battle royale is. So I think that's why.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, like I think accessibility is a big thing now.
Yeah.
there are a lot of games, right? Most games don't even come with an instruction manual anymore, right? I mean,
Yeah.
does anyone even remember instruction manuals? But still, even that being said, the learning curve on a lot of these is still pretty high. And if you're not there in the first 2 months when the game launches, you're going to be left behind, honestly. Like, I have not enjoyed a single minute of playing Call of Duty on the PlayStation Warzone. PlayStation Call of Duty Warzone. And I'm pretty sure the people who are beating me are like 12 years old. It's just sad. I got lucky with the mobile version of Call of Duty. I was there when that thing started. But when I picked up the PlayStation version a few months later, forget it. It doesn't help that there's crossplay on that thing. So I was getting fragged by people on PCs.
Oh no, that's the big deal. Yeah, that's why you should. That's why you should put it on the PC. That's why you get an Android emulator and play with people on cell phone while you have a mouse. That's how you even it out.
Using use Nox or BlueStacks or something, right?
Yeah.
Actually, at this point, you can blame PV, but we've been using our PS4 controllers on the thing already because it supports it now. It's not illegal anymore.
Right.
Because when the game started, it was illegal in the beginning. Yeah, they would block you. They would ban you from the game if they detected you were using an external controller.
Huh. Weird.
3-point landing.
I want to take the opportunity to respond to like Misha's complaints about the difficulty, the learning curve, and accessibility, and talk about another thing I think that is important in the enjoyment of online games, which is rolling with a crew. And I'm sure, like Raffy, like you know about this. Like I know, based on your streams and based on what you guys talk about on Good Trades, you guys get together and play games together, not necessarily competitively against each other, but to form up, right?
Yeah.
And I think having a reliable crew really goes a long way towards like minimizing the learning curve, and because you're all working together, you're all sort of like holding each other's hands to like get through the experience.
or if you all suck, if you suck together.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
or you achieve a modest level of infamy within a certain localized center. So even though you're not number one out of the 100,000 leaderboard, you and a bunch of other people are fighting over like the 80,000 to 81,000 mark, saying ha.
Agreed. Yeah, that makes absolute sense. That makes sense.
You're pretty good to some people, I guess.
I think I told this story in our Nintendo episode, but I'm going to share it again. I was like, speaking of learning curves, right? So I was visiting my cousin. And I saw that he had a Switch and he had Mario Kart 8. So I was like, oh, I used to play Mario Kart. And he's like, oh, you want to play? I'm like, yeah, sure. And my cousin's like, 14 years old, 13 years old? And I'm not kidding. He just murdered me every which way to Sunday. Repeatedly. And then that was bad enough. But then the little guy started trash talking me.
Oh,
he's like, I thought you said you played this game. And I'm like, yeah, when I played this game, it didn't have a number at the end yet. That's how long it's been. Oh, Christ. Kids today. I mean, I'd probably do the same thing if I could. I would just beat up hopeless old people at their favorite video games. But yeah, the whole gaming landscape has changed immensely. And I want to ask, but the two of you guys, you two are more familiar with this. You guys are more into the culture. Tell me the appeal of streaming, of streaming your progress or watching somebody else trying to fight their way through a game. What do you get out of it, you guys?
Actually, I think the main appeal of streaming is the interaction. Like that's the simplest, most basic appeal of it. Like you can talk to this guy while he's playing this game. That's it. That's what I find most appealing about it. And you can kind of experience it together.
What if you don't know him?
Then make friends, I guess. Yeah, that's a thing that happens sometimes. Like, so I picked up streaming. I wasn't really a big fan of consuming streams before. But since I've picked up streaming, I've gotten into kind of like the culture of it. Like, it's kind of customary to, for example, at the end of your stream, it's kind of customary to raid a person on Twitch, another streamer. which is like when you raid, you take all your viewers who are still with you at the end of the stream and take them over to the other streamer, right? And that's how you kind of make friends.
You're like paying it forward.
Paying it forward, yes. And that's kind of like how you make friends. Like you hang out in the chat for a while, and then if you like their personality, they add you up and you follow, and then they'll introduce themselves, and if you like them, we'll subscribe and all that stuff. Like that's how you kind of make friends with them.
It's like you're done with your streaming business, and then you're taking your audience to someone else who you have chosen to like upvote to, sort of like shout out to
spread the love,
benefit,
spread the love,
who has been watching you,
and there,
cool.
so that's how you've rated them, and like you've kind of checked them out, you've interacted this one time, and everyone's kind of really friendly. When the culture around Twitch has been like very accepting when strangers pop in the chat, like especially to the people with like a modest following, where in the chat you can actually read the chat. So if they see your comment and you're new to the stream, they actually welcome you and ask you how your day was, or like, how you doing? How'd you see the stream? And they actually really converse with you. And it's like really finding a friend in the middle of the internet. Like I've had a few friends who I've never met in real life. I don't know their social media, their Facebooks or whatever, but I've only known them through Twitch, and we kind of like have a bond through Twitch and just Twitch.
Wow. That's something. Because like I was talking with Matthew, and I was telling him that for the most part, because you said friends, right? Mm-hmm. For the most part, I just couldn't get into it, because like I can watch. I mean, I have to like. I can't even watch like after I've been fragged in a game. I cannot even bring myself to watch I can't to spectate the rest of the game unless I actually know the people who are in there. You know,
gotcha.
So I can watch PV after I've been shot in the head. But I can watch the rest of our squad. But if they weren't playing, I would have no reason to watch. So I think it's interesting what you said, that this is a way to actually make relationships, to actually meet people. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's a brand new way of engaging with video games, while also making them the social lubricant that sort of connects people together. Because it's not just about watching a video game be played well, although that does also happen. It's not just about sometimes watching a video game because someone is someone although that can happen. It's just sort of like it's sort of just being in the same like virtual room and just hanging, chilling, throwing, making jokes, sharing tips, giving information to each other about the game. Like it of course depends from streamer to streamer, and it depends from audience to audience. And sometimes maybe there might be a bad place, but overall, like I think I've only had positive experiences with the community. Sure, I've landed in raids, or I've been raided to other groups where like, oh, okay, I'm not really interested in this streamer. This is fine, whatever. But that's not like something I place on the streamer. You know what I mean? I'm just like, this isn't for me, and I'll go just check another stream.
It's just not a fit. Yeah.
Something that I noticed. I mean, like what I've observed is it's also a good platform for like people actually become celebrities this way. They become influencers, kind of, and I find it fascinating.
Oh yeah, big time. And I think the main thing of how that happens is that they just really get good at the game. And okay, that's one side of it. I'm gonna check myself there. Sometimes they get really good at the game, and that's what you watch. You become a celebrity because people watch you, because you can like 360 no scope, like with the flick of a wrist, whatever. There's also the part of it where you become a celebrity because you foster the community. Because that's the big thing with Twitch. Like everyone's just part of the gang. Like everyone in the chat, if they're strangers, if they're like the first time viewers, or even if they've been there since day one, you're just fostering a whole community, like a friend group, like a really big friend group. And that's how you that's your like claim to fame. And if a lot of people like your personality, and that's how you get there, kind of. And that's how what I think you make a celebrity out of Twitch streamers.
Mm-mm. It's the same. It's the same thing that makes the smaller, the more modest Twitch audiences possible, just amped up on a larger scale because you coincidentally have that X factor, that skill or personality that just compels millions and millions of people to start watching. And maybe it's also a byproduct of algorithms and of course of other people rating your stream or joining you and sort of like, it's like this growing kind of mass. Like, of course, there are pitfalls. I think Raffy talked about this with us last week, in which when a Twitch community, or a Twitch streamer becomes incredibly popular, it becomes way more difficult for them to engage with everybody on an individual basis. So, for example, I am currently following,
right? Because the crowd's too big.
Exactly. Like it's like celebrities. It's like real celebrities, right? Like, for example, you follow a comedian when they start being humble, and you pop up behind their shows. Like, I've gone to a few comedy shows, and like they'll pop out back from the comedy club and they'll smoke, or they'll go to the comic book store.
This is incredibly detailed.
Yeah, and they're ready to chat. To
engage,
idly. But if they become incredibly famous, they can't afford that anymore because they're so popular. If they give one person their attention, they need to have to give all of them. So then that's when that's when they need moderators. That's when they need like crowd control and that kind of thing or whatever.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah, and so I'm following a Twitch streamer. His name is Kazuma Hashimoto, and he plays a lot of mobile games and JRPG stuff, and it's a fun community, and he is always super attentive to everybody. Whenever I sign on, he always asks, what's your day? How's the Philippines? All that stuff.
Wow.
Or sometimes he'll go nice. Let's say in the previous stream, I talked to him about Final Fantasy 12. He'll ask me, hey, how's your game of Final Fantasy 12 going, Matthew? You making any progress lately? That kind of stuff. And even though I haven't tried, I'm 100% sure I can't get that personalization from fucking Ninja. I don't mean fucking Ninja as in fuck Ninja. I just mean it's just not going to happen. It'd be wrong or reasonable to demand that of him.
Right. It's like asking Chris Evans to remember your name. That is not going to happen.
But what about some people who are... I've seen some accusations there are those who just do it for attention. Like they have no interest in the games. They just want the attention. They want to be in that position of influencing.
I mean, there are easier ways to do it.
Yeah.
Well, that is true. That is true. But what I said earlier, it's just incredible to me how this thing has become like its own little ecosystem, honestly, that always surprises people. I mean, I was aware of it peripherally, I was aware of this culture, but in doing the research for today's discussion, I was looking into it. I'm like, it is such a big thing. And on the one hand, that brings me to another thing. I kind of understand why Vince McMahon would be threatened by this. On the other hand, I think he's being incredibly childish. He's being incredibly childish in not letting wrestlers go on third-party platforms to make content. I'm like, how do you even police that?
All right,
How does that work?
I'm gonna stop you there, Misha. You gotta help our audience in podcast Landia and tell them what's going on here. You're talking about Vince McMahon's speech. What is going on? Actually, maybe Raffy can recap this for us. What's going on?
Vince McMahon is cracking down on the third-party services that the WWE wrestlers have been appearing on. That's it.
That's ridiculous. I'm like, wait. So how far does that go? No more Twitter? No more Facebook? Instagram?
Right.
TikTok?
Right.
Where do you draw the line?
Yeah.
I think he's just jealous that people like Xavier Woods have a following already when they're playing their games, Alexa Bliss, all these people. And the fact that he doesn't get a cut or he has no say in it, that pisses him off.
It might be some of that, but from my knowledge, the recent crackdown is because of WWE superstar AJ Styles actually revealing to his followers on Twitch that he has COVID-19. And what Vince didn't like about that one was it kind of bypassed the corporation. Didn't it?
That's true.
So they can't wrap up the messaging. How big corporations are. They want to be on top of this stuff.
Of course. And as we know. Yeah.
So that's
I was
where I'm kind of coming from. Where okay, I understand, but let's not get too crazy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about a corporate communications problem. That is something that they can address. AJ is not the first WWE superstar to stick his foot in his mouth, honestly. But again, I think what you said hits it right on the head. The fact that it's unregulated, that they have no control in place in what these people do on these platforms. So what does this? What does it mean? Are they going to be shutting down their accounts?
If I
Are
may,
they going to
if I
Go
may,
for it.
I think all of this speaks to sort of like how old an institution and how old the ways that people think at the WWE. And I know, I'm sure when you sign to the WWE, there are all sorts of lines in the contract that tell you, like, you know, how you talk to people, how you engage with people, you know, what kind of comments you can make, what kind of, you know, commercial engagements you can make. And I highly doubt that those contracts anticipated the proliferation of digital media, of independent digital media controlled by the people who own those accounts, right?
Yeah.
They did not foresee these wrestlers having TikToks or Twitch streams. And now, you know, it becomes incumbent upon the WWE corporation to figure that shit out. I'm not cool with the idea of like AJ Styles being muzzled to talk about COVID, but clearly that the relationship between Styles and WWE should have been arranged in such a way that he would have known better than to disclose that, or found a way to disclose that in a way that was like, you know, matched his contractual obligations to the company brand and his own like personal relationship with his followers.
Right. Definitely.
That makes sense.
There should have been like a more controlled, like a more corporate friendly way to do it. Like, so that you don't stick out like in front of the brand.
Exactly.
Right? You're not putting the brand at risk by doing so.
Yeah. And the thing is, Twitch invites a candidness that a lot of corporations aren't used to. So for example, we're not going to hear any situation where like Elizabeth Olsen from like, you know, who plays Scarlet Witch in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, we're not going to hear any situation where we're going to see her in Twitch and she's going to say, oh, by the way, you know, by the way, Kevin Feige's a motherfucker, you know, or whatever. You know, like she's not going to say anything bad.
Of course she's not. He's not Joss Whedon.
Well, but she's not, you know, because she knows better than to do that. But of course, when you're on Twitch, when you're on stream, you know, candidness can like draw that kind of informality and casualness out of you.
To be fair, it kind of syncs up with what we know about Vince as a legendary micromanager. Right. And, you know, the WWE has not had the best track record when it comes to its superstars on social media. I mean, let's be honest. Between people saying things they're not supposed to say, between reveals happening, or characters. I mean, wrestlers breaking character when they hit social media, you know. It's getting next to impossible to regulate at this point. Because you really got to watch them 24/7.
It's a weird thing because for the wrestling, for those familiar with wrestling, they know the term kayfabe, which is like stay in character this whole time. But it's really hard to maintain kayfabe in the world where social media exists.
Yes.
Like, the athletes are playing characters, but at the same time, they have personal lives.
Yes.
And the world is driven by these connections to the athletes that then they're just at the palm of your hand. You want to tweet them, you want to say something to them, you want to like their post, they're very accessible, right? And that becomes tricky in a business where they're supposed to be playing a character. And I think moving forward, wrestling in general, like professional wrestling in general, has to be able to accept or kind of work with social media in a certain way that doesn't take too much away from their business and also balance out like the personal lives of people. And I think that'll make for better characters and story moving forward as well.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
absolutely.
Cool. Yeah.
Because think about it. I mean, now you can take a storyline from SmackDown or Raw or from whatever pay-per-view. That storyline can move online. They can move to Twitch. They can move to Twitter. They can move to Instagram. You know, you can have a feud that goes across every platform now.
Yeah,
that would be something to watch. That would be something different, something interesting.
That's why what AEW wrestler MJF, I think it's Maxwell Jacob Friedman. That's why
can you help me out? Are you talking about a wrestler who exists outside of the WWE?
Yes. There is a rival promotion now.
So you gotta tell me about that, because I don't know about wrestling, and so will some of our audience sometimes.
There's a rival promotion called AEW, which is actually putting up a fight against WWE. And there's a character there, or a wrestler by the name of Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF, I think is his moniker. And what his stuff is very interesting because he's always in character all the time, right? He does interviews away from the camera, always in character.
Yep.
He does a mall signing, he'll flip off the kid. He doesn't care. He's always a heel all the time.
I love it.
He did a documentary. There's a wrestling documentarian whose name escapes me at the moment. But what the documentarian does is show like the real side of the wrestlers and their personal lives. And when it came time to make the MJF documentary, the documentary was also in character.
Nice.
MJF, he rented out a fake house and put up pictures of fake parents, and all his picture frames were like filled with stock photos. It was so good, dude. He never breaks character. It's great. I think that's where the future should go.
Here's the thing, right? Speaking of the future, I think you're absolutely right, because we now live in a world where the Undertaker actually does interviews as Mark Calloway, you know?
Oh, God. Just Mark Calloway.
I mean, did you watch his documentary? That was like, wow, I have not seen him string together that many words in my life.
Yeah. It was jarring, dude.
It really was, but it was brilliant. All I'm saying is
kind of great.
They were able to embrace breaking the fourth wall for the Undertaker of all freaking characters, one of the few remaining classic gimmicks at this point.
Right.
I don't see why Twitch should be a bad thing. I think they just got to come up with some rules. I think that they overreacted. You're right. They should have come up with a better corporate response than what they did.
Yeah, I think it's also a huge overreaction too, because the crackdown became, okay, WWE owns all your names, all your real names, all your wrestler names, and all your likenesses, which is very unfair. That's not...
Especially since they're not actually employees. You know, they're all, on paper, they're all freelance contractors.
Exactly. It's not... It wasn't the great way.
How do you think Vince became a billionaire, Matthew?
Yeah.
But basically, the whole thing about celebrity, being a celebrity through your Twitch stream, that's incredible, because now in some ways, there's more of a direct interaction with your fans, I think, than on Twitter or on Instagram or on Facebook even. Because on those platforms, you have time to think about your response, right? But when you're streaming, you're live streaming your game and all that, you're just you. They see you, presumably unfiltered, whatever. They see you as you. You don't have time to think. You don't have time to hide. You know, what you see is what you get. And I think I like that authenticity. Yeah. And that's why, for me, it's cool that on the one hand, it can build somebody's celebrity. On the other hand, it's also cool to see celebrities indulging in those activities.
Right. And that's like the key point in Twitch streaming specifically. It's all of that. It's all the candidness and the realness of interacting with the actual person, framed in the guise of video games. Something everyone loves, or at least a lot of us love. So it's instantly
for sure,
topic.
For sure.
You see a guy being real in a video game, which is something that you really like. Yeah.
3-point landing.
I think it also helps that, everybody has a passing interest in video games at the very least. And in a way, it is a more compelling medium than film or TV as a Twitch experience. Because if a Twitch streamer decides, hey guys, I'm going to watch this movie and you're going to watch it with me, I don't think it can create that same experience, because there's no spectacle. You're just watching something together. But the spectacle of a player, of a gamer, of a Twitch streamer going ooh and ah, and making mistakes and scoring epic highs is completely different. They get to live vicariously through you. And also a very, very talented or capable Twitch streamer knows how to harness that energy and sort of like, be both entertainer and community leader.
Definitely.
That's why I honestly feel that fuck it. There's more to this than I initially thought, and I'm glad to have been proven wrong. I am fascinated, actually. Who else do you guys watch? I mean, can you recommend somebody, or what do you guys watch?
I don't believe Raffy's made a recommendation yet, so please give us one.
Wow.
Other than yourself, of course, Raffy Graffiti at twitch.tv.
Thank you very much. No, you know what?
If you like his stream, subscribe.
I'm still at a very young or at a very new point in streaming. So I don't watch much of the big name people. I'm more of like, I'm clearly in it just for the community building, having new friends from the other side of the world, like watching them play games. So I don't have a specific recommendation. Put me on the spot here. I don't know.
I'm so sorry.
No pressure.
While you work on that, I want to talk about something else, which is, of course, like we talked about what makes a good Twitch streamer or a great Twitch streamer and what makes a great community. And I think that also speaks to some of the things that have happened recently. People forget that it's actually the independent streamers or the small streamers that make up the bulk of the streaming platforms. You know what I mean? That they're actually the foundation, the bedrock of the Twitch community and any other streaming platform community. And that's something that a lot of companies don't really think about. They think that, because Mixer, because Ninja and Pokimane and and Boomer Girl, like they all attract millions of people to their streams, that they're the most important people. And that might be true, but only to a very, very limited extent. It's like saying that the Jimmy Fallon YouTube channel is the most important channel on YouTube. It's not. It's the smaller streamers, because they are the ones that draw all these people in, so that there's a billion viewer mass that justifies having bigger people on the platform.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
And people won't stay. People will not stay if they think you're being fake or inauthentic or unwelcoming or just not entertaining to watch even.
Hold on, Matthew. Didn't you start live streaming at some point?
I fiddled around on my Facebook with some streams, but I haven't gone whole hog with the whole camera setup and the ability to provide commentary and engage with the chat. I do plan to soon, but gotta buy that second monitor and all that shit and and put everything up.
Ooh, that sounds like a good excuse to go shopping.
It is a good excuse to go shopping.
Yeah. I thought that was going to be a segue into an ad or something.
Somebody please sponsor us.
Yeah.
Yes. We're not going to say no to money.
Yeah. 10/10 sale on Shopee. But I want to go back here and say that if you really want to try it, Matthew, like the hardware isn't like the biggest deal. I started streaming with just the PS4. Like straight up from the PS4, put in my mic and just connected the PS4 to the Twitch. And that's
I saw you were a mere humble 720p.
Yeah. And I immediately that's fine. That happens. But the main thing is actually I started streaming as a birthday gift to myself. Like my birthday rolled around and like, I've always wanted to try, and I wanted to like play video games and have people watch me. Why don't we just do that? And then I did it. Like it was the COVID back then, so like it's really easy. I was just in the house, so I plugged all the things: mic, PS4 to Twitch, and then started, and then that's it. And I think from that I got to affiliate, which is like a tier of streamer, and I got to affiliate in like the first 30 days. So the main point was, apart from a humble brag, don't let hardware be. If you really, I had to check myself.
No judgment.
You just really shoehorned it in there. Oh my God.
What you said earlier, it happens.
Okay. But I think the point was, don't let hardware be a detriment. If you want to do it, just get out there and do it.
Yeah. It's just a matter of finding the schedule. And I will make sure that I invite you all to for stream.
Yeah,
maybe
for
do
sure.
some private rehearsals.
Fine, but if you're in a tank top, I'm changing the channel.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I'm actually going to subscribe the second I see Matthew in a tank top.
Oh my God, no, let's not do that. Let's not scare everyone.
And I think that's a show.
Yeah, but thank you for coming over. I feel like we didn't get enough of you. I feel like we should,
Hell yeah. Like I'm game. Like this has been really fun, and I detect that we need to do like a wrestling version. Like
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah, wrestling.
Like an episode.
I think I know why I didn't feel like I got enough of you today, Raffy. I think A, I miss you, brother. And B, which is I'm so used to your podcast being like how many hours long?
Oh,
3 hours
I'm sorry.
at least. 3 hours at least.
of Good Trades Brigade na parang like
We've never gone that long,
It's a
actually.
Yeah.
The only time we actually hit 90 minutes once because I couldn't stop Matthew from cussing on the Rise of Skywalker.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, listen to that, man.
Yeah, I mean, no, I mean, Raffy knows I can swear like a bastard.
You
from
don't
our
say.
tabletop
Especially
sessions.
about
but
Star
normal,
Wars.
but on this show, I try to be my best self, and that was gone the moment we talked about Rise of Skywalker.
Oh man.
Oh God!
What a disappointment. Oh my God.
I swear that movie was awful. And if you guys want to hear more of Matthew cussing about it, you can check out our episode in the comments. Segway. So, yeah, thanks for joining us, Raffy. That was very eye-opening. I had fun. I learned a couple of things. I'm still not going to watch Matthew in a tank top. I don't care what you say. And we would love to have you back on the show.
Absolutely.
We would love to have you back.
Yeah. Thank you very much for having me. This was indeed really fun.
All right, Raffy.
Yep.
Where can our listeners find you at? All the socials you'd like to promote? Anything you want to drop?
Oh yeah.
What's the CV again? Could you remind me? What am I doing?
Well, I don't think people.
I think the main avenue for my content right now is GG Network. I am a content creator for GG Network. A bunch of articles on ggnetwork.tv. There's also the social media page, GG Network. I do a bunch of like fun video game lists and just a bunch of what do you call those things? Videos. That's what they are. Yeah. You can also follow my streaming on twitch.tv/Raffy Graffiti, RAFFY GRAFFITI. I stream on Tuesdays, Fridays, and Sundays at 9 p.m. GMT. I especially recommend people coming in on Sunday at 9 p.m. GMT because it's always usually like a fun multiplayer type thing. Like we play Among Us, we play Fall Guys, we play Jackbox, like anything that we can all do together.
Ooh, that does sound like fun.
And I can join in,
Yeah,
right? And by the way, you mean GMT plus 8, not GMT, right?
GMT plus 8. What did I say? Oh my God.
You said GMT, so I think people might be checking you out on Greenwich Meantime.
GMT plus 8. Plus 8, yeah.
All right, for the record, everybody, those times were set on Philippine local time. That's GMT plus 8. All right. Corrected. Right. Fix that for you.
Now you know.
And I think that's it. Like, I'm also on the socials, the Facebook and the Instagram, Raffy Graffiti, RAFFY GRAFFITI. Ooh, I got to plug Good Trades Brigade too. Can I? Because we're on the podcast.
Go for it.
We have a bi-weekly podcast of 4 friends just hanging about and just catching up on their day. It's called Good Trades. And with me are the Good Trades Brigade. So you can find us on Spotify. Just search Good Trades Brigade. And all our episodes are right there. We just passed the landmark that matters. The only one that matters. We got our episode 69 the other week.
Nice.
Nice. And yeah, so go give that a follow. And yeah, that's it.
All right. Thanks for coming on the show, man.
Dude, again, super, like, this was really fun. Thank you so much.
And for all of you listening out there, let us know who your favorite streamers are. Maybe I'll check them out. Maybe I'll even give it a try. I don't know. Be nice. Please be nice. Okay. Until then, this has been 3 Point Landing, production of Big Baby Studios. I'm Misha.
I'm Matthew. and our guest,
Raffy.
Hooray!